Scotty, beam me up.
Hulk. Smash.
Get over here! It is pointless to resist.
All right, here we are on the Geek Den again, and we have Mr. Mick Collins, author, podcaster. We can open it up to you. What what inspires you to write? You know, like what's kind of your story behind what you do?
I just do it to placate the evil monkeys in my head. Really, I mean that's it. No, I've always been one to just write. I've always liked making stories, and I've always liked creepy shit. Which is weird because like when I was a kid, like my mom will attest to it. I was a wuss. Like even an emotionally involved commercial would send me off. But I'd go to like the video stores, and I would just be planted in front of those in the horror section. Just I knew all of the covers, by heart. I never watched any because I was too big of a pussy, but I knew all the covers. But as I got older, I just got more and more into it, and I was like, I want to write this stuff. And then I actually started writing, and I never wanted to stop. So and then I just kind of kept going, and it took me a long time to actually start publishing now. I was like in my mid-30s when I decided to actually publish because, I didn't think it was, I wrote worth a damn, but also publishing opened up too a little bit. So that helped.
Yeah, I kind of get that. I just published a parenting, like it's a little book right now. It's only about 78 pages, but I'm in the middle of some other stuff. So
you're talking
I
about
just went through Amazon Publishing. Yeah.
Nice.
And it's the easiest way around it for me because, I'm not really trained in writing. I never took any classes or anything. I just like to write.
Yeah. I think that's what most indies, we just started typing and here we are.
Yeah.
For sure. Like Craig's here has inspired me to like just start writing shit down, like from even if it's my life story, because I have a good imagination, but I'm very impulsive. I don't like to write things down and plan them out. I like to plan them out, but mostly in my head. When I'm one of those people, like if I try to write it down, it just doesn't translate. Like I have to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I can't just write down a story that I have in my head because it's just not going to sound right. But in my head, it sounds amazing. So if I tell it to you, I'm probably going to blow your mind. But like, you know what I mean? But
for me, it's a lot of deleting and rewording for me.
That's what I'm saying. I would have to. I'm not a very patient man. It's something I have to work on.
Yeah, well, I mean, it does take a little patience, but I'm kind of the same way. Like I try really hard to plan it out, but then I just chuck it, and then whatever the hell happens. I'm just as surprised at what happens as the reader is. When people ask me what my book's about, I'm like, I don't know, I didn't read it.
Yep, as a cook, it's kind of the same thing. You cook something that you've never cooked before, and it's like, wow, it's actually pretty good. And it's like, what do you mean? It's like, I thought I've never done this before.
Cool. Yeah, it's a beast, man. But I think that's kind of the cool thing about like indie writing and like being able to publish through Amazon is you can just kind of wipe your brain on a page and there you go. And people dig it. Like sometimes the weirder the better. Or you do the what's it called? Stream of consciousness type writing, where it's just whatever the hell falls out. So yeah, it's wide open, and I like it like that. Some people, I know a lot of people kind of talk shit about, well, anything can be published, and there's some shit out there, but that's kind of the nice thing. Just create. That's the essence
exactly. It's the same with movies. There's a lot of trash out there, but a lot of people love trash. You know what I mean? Like,
We're a lot of people that love trash.
We are.
Well, I'll tell you, I was at PA HorrorCon a couple weeks ago.
Yep, I was
and
there.
Lloyd Kaufman was there for Trauma. And I tell you, that line, you want to talk to people who enjoy their trash, that line was all the way out the room.
I was first in line. I waited maybe an hour and a half before he actually showed up when the line started. I was first
nice.
there. Yeah.
You said, fuck that, I'm beating everybody.
Yep.
Well, he was supposed to be there back in August, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he had to cancel last
Dip
time.
out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tried to get there this year. This time around, but it just wasn't gonna happen. Life events.
It was cool. Saturday was busy. Sunday was pretty dead because we were there for both days.
Yeah.
So we just kind of hung out, which was cool. But Saturday was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But those events are always fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I picked this up. I'm actually in the middle of reading it.
Oh, nice.
I would have to say, like, the first story in here is still my favorite story, and like the descriptive writing is amazing to me. You were talking about like what inspires you and like how you just put it on paper, and like if that's the outcome, that's amazing to me. That's what you come up with.
Well, thank you. You know, honestly, I don't even remember what the fucking first story is. Hold on, I got one right here. Oh, okay. All right, I remember now. Yeah, Dimensions of Hell. So fun story about that one. That was a story I was just kind of noodling around with, and then I said I'm going to put it aside because I want to make a bigger version of it, expand some of the themes. And I decided to do that collection, and it's like, well, I guess I'll finish it so I have something to put in there. Well, I had a publisher contact me saying, hey, I read some of your stuff. Do you have anything else? And I didn't. So I pulled that out and I actually rewrote that story based off that story. And that is what my new book is actually where it came from.
Wow.
Is expanding and kind of changing up that story.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird how that happened.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So I got another one for you. I'm just kidding. I'm DIY, man. I got to push it any way I can.
Push all you want. That's what we're here for.
Yep, absolutely. Who are some of your favorite authors? Like,
oh boy, there's a list. Like Clive Barker, I guess, is kind of up at the top. His stuff is always just the textures and everything he kind of paints, and just he doesn't hold anything back, but he does it with a kind of like dark eloquence. I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe, but he's one of my favorites. Poppy Bright. They were a big influence on me. Early Stephen King. You have some King in there, you know.
He's my guy.
Yeah, a little bit of H.P. Lovecraft. And oddly enough, I read a lot of old Victorian ghost stories. Like on Kindle you can get these like 99-cent mega packs, and it's just like 10 15 stories in them. They're all like Victorian, early 20s, shit like that,
like penny dreadful kind of stuff.
And I read a lot of those, and somehow that kind of creep vibe, because some of them aren't scary at all, they kind of got a creep vibe to them. I really like that, so that's kind of a big one right there.
Yeah, a lot of those stories back then, like, they're not really meant to scare you. They're just like meant to linger.
It was
make you think.
It was good storytelling. You know, it was the same with Frankenstein and Dracula. It was just good storytelling. It wasn't scary per se. I mean, back then it was, but when you look at it today, it's just great storytelling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I guess that's kind of what I like. I like scary. You know, I like gory as long as it's part of the story, but man, creep me out and I'm happy.
Yeah,
I haven't really been too much into reading in my adult years, but as a kid, I remember like R.L. Stein. Like, he was. He was my guy.
Yeah.
And then as I, as a teenager, it was Stephen King, and then I've just been hooked on Stephen King ever since. But then I found Anne Rice, and I reread Frankenstein because I read it when I was a little kid, but I didn't understand it.
Yeah, well, that's a heavy one.
Yeah, well, now I have a better appreciation for it as an adult. I can understand it, so it's just, like those authors right there, like, they just never left me.
That's cool.
Everything they've ever done would have just stuck with me.
Yeah, no, I feel the R.L. Stein thing, because like everything growing up for me was like monsters and scary stuff, and like R.L. Stein was like godlike to me as a kid because he was writing these great stories that everybody was into, and I could feel like halfway normal enjoying something that everyone else did. You know what I mean? Because like not too many people are into horror.
Yeah, literally
Yeah.
everybody was reading Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Everybody was reading Goosebumps.
Yeah. But it was the same with
Everybody in my elementary school.
when I went to the library, they had all these little orange books that were like about Universal monsters and everything, and it had like all these little stories written in them.
Yes.
I was
Yes, I
always
remember those.
always borrowing them, things like that. Like I don't know, I was just always into scary stuff.
I probably checked out. We didn't have all of them in my library. I think we had like 4 of them, but I think I
Yeah.
checked the Dracula one out like 80 times.
Mm.
I'm surprised the librarian just didn't give it to me. He was like, "Here, take this."
It's like, look, you're the only one reading this book. You might as well just.
Right. It was that and the Wolfman one, man. I read those a zillion times.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I've been
Yep.
fascinated with werewolves as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Like of all, like I love vampires and like Frankenstein's monster, all that stuff, but
Mm.
the werewolf, it's just it can be done so many different ways,
Mhm. Oh yeah.
and I don't know. I've just always been like so many different, not just werewolves, but you got like werecats and stuff like that. Too,
Yeah.
like in the Thriller video.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
that creeped me. That video gave me nightmares as a child.
Yeah, the Thriller
Yeah.
video changed my life.
And it wasn't even like him transforming into a werecat. It was the fucking zombies.
Yeah.
Yep.
The zombies
Yeah.
gave me nightmares. The werewolf shit fascinated me.
Mm.
I love that, but I could not even listen to the song as a child for the longest time.
Yeah, that
Thriller-
video creeped me out too.
Thriller was life changing for me. We had it on VHS, and as kids, we would watch it over and over and over
Nice.
and over, and it would just
Making of
we would have to buy
Thriller is
copy
so-
after copy.
Yeah.
What's that? The making of Thriller
it.
was on the it was followed by the making of Thriller, which was like a 45-minute, I think, documentary, and yeah, that and Return of the Living Dead. I was watching that movie at like 5 years old, so I didn't have the best. I didn't have the best influences, but it really changed. It really brought me into who I am today.
That's
Thriller
cool.
was a John Landis direction, but this is another John Landis like character.
Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What was
American Werewolf.
the makeup artist's name? What can't remember.
Rick Baker.
Rick
Yep,
Baker.
Rick
Thank
Baker.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic special.
Oh, that man's a genius. Some of the
Yeah.
stuff he's done is just amazing.
Yeah.
It's just damn. But I gotta thank him for pretty much hooking me with werewolves, because it was the making of Thriller that like just made me like, wow.
Nice.
Mm.
Like the way I've always loved how they expose movie magic, like they show you how they make certain
Mhm.
elements of movies and
Yeah.
music videos and stuff like that. And when
And
you
I think-
see like werewolves being created,
Yeah. And I think that's what
Like,
like
what goes
deterred me from being scared of the zombies was like you seen them just as people being made up, and I was like, well,
Yeah.
it's just acting. And like I believe what
Yeah,
everybody was
after I
telling
saw
me
it, I
that
was
like,
fine.
you know, monsters aren't real, and here I am like watching them put makeup on and human beings and like making them monsters, and that kind of when I went to Universal Studios, they were like recording a Halloween commercial, and all the monsters were out front, and they saw us and they came running at us, and I ran like hell. Like I was scared of them up close and personal, but like I loved everything about them.
Fascinating from a distance.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Frankenstein's monster used to creep me the hell out when I was a little kid at
Mm.
Universal. Like we'd get on the tram and
Yeah.
he'd be way the hell over there, and I'd be screaming bloody murder. But yeah, like horror, it never. That's another thing. It's always been there for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm feeling down and depressed. Let's watch somebody get slaughtered.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell? Why not?
Yeah.
It's interesting too, because like it used to be like, oh, the weird kids like horror, but it turns out the weird kids were onto something, because there's so many layers and so many different things with horror. And like you said, you know, you're stressed out or want some horror. it's kind of like people get all weirded out when people find like heavy metal really calming. There's certain, I think it depends on what you're focusing on. If you're only focusing on the violent part of horror, you're focusing on the wrong thing. I mean, yeah, it's fun, yeah, it's good. It has its place. There's a reason it's there, but that's not really what we're focusing on. We're focusing on, all these other things that are going on in the story or in the movie.
Yeah.
And so, the weird kids were onto something, man.
Yeah.
Provided the story's good.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Provided the story's good, because there's some
Yeah.
horror out there that's just oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's some crazy shit out there.
There's
some crazy.
Pro Party Massacre 3.
Yeah, that was.
Can you
I think
call it
that is
horror?
like. No, I don't think you can. You can't call it horror. It's total comedy, I think. But
Yeah.
it's such a
Well,
staple of this
they knew
show.
what they were doing with that.
Yeah, ever since we watched it, it's like a staple of this show. We always got to bring that movie up now because it's so ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous. I can't help it.
There's not even a one. There's not even a 1 or 2. It's just 3.
Nice.
That's the best part about it.
Yeah.
That's the best part about it. It's on Tubi if you're interested.
Yep.
It's called
Nice.
Dude
I'll
Bro
have to check
Party
it out.
Massacre 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
It's
That's cool.
everything
Sounds
you
more
want. in a
bizarro, I
ridiculous
like it.
movie.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre.
Pretty fucking bizarre.
It's pretty definitely
depends
has
on
like a
itself.
trauma effect.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
That's the best way to
Yeah.
describe it.
Yeah.
Our buddy Poltergeist OD hooked us up with that one.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we can't thank him enough because yeah. it's something.
All right, well, why don't we take a break though, and then we can get into your podcast and what drives you to do that.
All right, cool.
All right.
Did I forget to invite you to the pool party? Well, maybe next year.
On those occasions when you need to make a big splash, there's the Super Soaker 100. It has a powerful air pressure system,
Oh, Buffy.
a range of up to 60 feet, and a drenching spray. The Super Soaker 100.
It's a water gun of a higher caliber.
Also the 50, or the ultimate, the 200.
See you later, Chef. The game's 13 Dead End Drive, where you can get rich by accident. It's nighty-night for the hairdresser. Someone will inherit a fortune, but everyone's dying to bump you off. A little trip for the fortune teller. First out of 13 Dead End Drive, while their picture is above the mantle, wins. Lights out for the boyfriend. The fun's alive with 13 Dead End Drive.
The dreaded beast versus the savage hunter. Aliens versus Predator with awesome new Predators. Clan leader attacks with whipping dreadlocks. And Stalker, glowing in the dark, fires his spear. Suddenly, flipping up his attack spikes the wild boar alien charges. And the ferocious mother alien in her monstrous hive traps Spiketail, then covers him in ooze.
Ooze 'em.
Who will survive? Aliens versus Predator. Queen Hive playset comes with mother alien figure and ooze. Other figures sold separately.
All right, we're back. Let's talk about your podcast. What drives you to do that?
All right, so it's the podcast is called the Buy Plus Podcast, and I'm actually just a co-host, one of the co-hosts. Elizabeth is the one who actually does all the heavy lifting on that. But it's myself and Ames, and we're a podcast basically for the Bi Plus or the bisexual plus community. And it's a spin-off of the Bicast, which was around for a number of years. And Lynette, who was running that, decided that she had, to kind of tend to some more important stuff in her life, which, completely understand, but we decided we wanted to keep up with it. So we've been doing that, and we pretty much we interview people, a lot of authors, but, people who are in the community who maybe they're activists or they're doing, we've interviewed show creators and, all sorts of different stuff. I know a couple months ago, we were talking with a coordinator with one of the indigenous resource groups. for doing just general LGBT resource work within their indigenous cultures. So we've talked to some just crazy people, and I have like non-horror type stuff. I've read some really ridiculously good books just to do the podcast, because I like to go in knowing what the hell I'm talking about, or at least pretending I know what I'm talking about, which is usually what most of the time.
Yeah.
But
we try to
it's but it's a lot of fun. And I mean, sometimes they get pretty heavy, but sometimes it's kind of like this. We just kind of shoot the shit a little bit and talk about stuff. And I've been doing it for 5 years now, longer maybe, between the two of them, and met some cool people that way.
Oh, that's awesome.
Got some like heavy shit too.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff you got to talk about.
Yeah. Same here. We try not to deal with the heavy stuff too much, but now and then, like our friend Rachel Hoffman, she's dealt with some shit in the movie industry.
Oh, okay.
Let her come on here and air that shit because it needs to be heard. And
yep. But anyone in the community can always come and educate or active. You got
to talk about.
Yeah. Anybody. Well, we try not to get too political. That's about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's venues, there's good venues for it, and sometimes you just need to, chill and have some fun. So now I can
exactly.
that.
Yeah,
there's a time cool there's a time and place for religion and politics, and this isn't it. So
yeah, we know because we go to Facebook jail enough over it, so we know.
Yes, we do.
yes. But no, that's cool. It's good to have just open forums. Just people talking about their thing.
Yeah.
So I can dig that. But yeah, no, we in fact I know I've got an interview coming up. But luckily I don't need to read a book for this time, I think. So oh my God, it's ridiculous. I this weekend I had like so many different things I had to get done, plus try and get a manuscript edited, let alone just be able to sit down and read, because that's what I like to do. So
yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, my to be read pile is it's stacked to the ceiling. It's crazy.
That's my to be watched pile. Like, I have a list of shows and movies, probably.
Nice.
Holy shit.
Yep, these guys always get on me about the Marvel
capabilities
stuff.
to watch them. I just gave myself a lot of free time, so I need to get on
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know.
It's hard though. With streaming, it's hard to stay caught up.
It really is.
Yeah.
There's so much out there.
Holy shit, I don't know what's on what anymore.
That's what I mean. Like Disney's got their Marvel thing going on. You try to keep up with that, and like
that was easy.
Well,
like for me, I love Marvel, so it was just like boom. Like
I know, but
there you go.
Horror comes before anything for me. Even when I try to sit down, it's always a horror movie. Like if I'm like, okay, today I'm gonna watch like Loki or something.
Yeah. I haven't watched a good horror movie in a minute.
I was watching Game of Thrones for a while after like
gotta get back.
How long? I don't know.
We gotta get back.
So
we gotta get back on that.
Yeah, I'm so behind on just watching literally anything, like, because I don't watch much TV because work and everything else, and so like when I do, it's like my wife and I will sit down, and usually we're just watching stupid shit because we're decompressing and things like that, trying to get caught up on like Resident Alien and just fun stuff like that. But I need to start watching horror movies again. I got real I kind of got out, I don't know if out of the habit, but I just haven't been for a couple of years now, and I need to, because I just gotta.
What I need to do is pick a franchise and watch the whole thing, and then maybe
there you go.
Yeah,
just marathon it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were doing good for a while. We were like doing group watches and everything to like keep everybody inspired, but
and then busy happens.
Busy happens.
That's
how it goes.
Goddamn busy.
Yep.
It poked its ugly head around the corner.
Right. Being an adult blows.
It really does. That's why we do this show, because we talk about, like, what was it? A couple weeks ago we talked to our buddy Matt. We just talked about action figures.
Yeah.
And toys. That's all we did.
Yep.
We were like, let's relive our childhoods, talk about toys. We don't talk about toys on this show. Let's talk about toys.
Awesome.
Because as you see, we have
Toys.
toys.
Yes.
Yeah, plenty. But speaking of books, you were saying like you have to keep up, but what's your favorite book that you've read recently?
Oh, that's a damn fun question. Okay, so I don't know if it's necessarily my favorite. I literally just finished it last night. It's by Peter Caffrey. It's called The Butcher's Other Daughter.
Okay.
And it's set in France. And just it's about this butcher, and he has these two daughters, and it's kind of an unreliable narrator type of thing, because you're getting three perspectives of the same action that are going on throughout the story. And it's cannibalism and some butchering, and it's crazy. The Butcher's Other Daughter, that one, I just finished it last night laying in bed. It was really good.
What a perfect place to read a book.
Yeah.
But I know, crap. Of course, I can of course think of these things when you don't ask.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? We're gonna cheat. I got most everything on my phone here. Don't mind me. I'm looking at my phone. Good old Kindle.
Yeah.
Shit, you don't need to remember anything. It's all on the phone.
We've already Googled Live. We know.
Do it all the time.
Yep.
Okay, let's see here. Oh shit, yeah. So there's a book. It's the greatest title ever, and it's a fun book too. Man, Fuck This House by Brian Allen. The greatest title ever. It was fun. It was a good haunted house, like ghosts haunted house. That is my jam, and it was a good one.
No, I know it's called that.
Yeah, like with a name like that. Well, I guess he has another one called Nunchuck City that I want to read.
Yeah.
Here's the other one I read. It was by Roland Bursey Jr. Payback as a Witch, and it's set in like the Louisiana swamps. Good old fashioned revenge story, and it's not very long, but it was good. Like you got sucked in. You wanted to read the whole thing at once.
Awesome.
So yeah, and then there's another Baker's Dozen. It was an anthology by Uncomfortably Dark that had a whole bunch of good stuff, and it was a bunch of extreme horror writers, and it was all like baking theme. It had to be somehow baking theme.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So ever since I published Fair and Malum, I've been delving into kind of the more extreme horror. And man, there's some wild shit. Especially if you go to godless.com. Go to godless.com. You're gonna find some crazy fucking shit.
Right.
But it's all real good, and yeah, and you can like anyone on there. I can guarantee you, if you were to like message them, because they're all pretty cool.
Oh,
like
cool.
Just say, hey, who do you suggest, and they'll give you like a list as long as your arm.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. They do audiobooks too.
Do
they got
they?
audiobooks like audio, and he just started doing games. Like I think role-playing games. I don't know. That's new. Yeah, I gotta plug Godless a little bit. He's got some cool stuff going.
Cool.
That sounds like something that I would be interested in with that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Godless. I myself am godless.
Aha. There you go.
Yep.
I myself am strange and unusual.
Perfect.
Yeah, I get the ghost thing. I've been on like a ghost movie kick lately. Like I just watched Hell House LLC. If you haven't seen that is like a really good found footage like ghost movie.
Oh, okay, cool.
Kind of. It doesn't really show you spirits, but it really messes with your mind. Kind of. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
I can't really do like the ghost movies, like paranormal, like anything. Like I've tried, and I just can't. Like
yeah.
Like The Exorcist, like pretty much anything involving exorcism, I'm gonna enjoy. Just because I was raised in a religious household, it's just fun to see the other side of that. Then but for me, it's gore. Like the gorier, the better. I love. I love a good slaughter fest.
Yep.
especially if the story is good,
Yep.
which is rare with Slaughter. But one in particular was Behind the Mask. What was it? The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Leslie Vernon. Yep.
I heard of that one. Yeah. Never did
Yeah,
see it.
that's
though.
I would
that's a
definitely
good one.
check it out. It's a good
Yeah.
one. It takes place in a universe where Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, and all those guys are real,
Okay.
Yeah. And it's like,
and he's trying to emulate them.
yeah.
It's
Oh yeah. Who's telling me? Someone was telling me about that the other day.
really
I wonder if it sounded familiar.
It's really
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
and it has like one of the weirdest, well, like one of the most unexpected twists ever, I should say.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I like that.
It really does.
Yeah.
It fucks with your head a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's shot like POV style.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah,
I really get into found footage stuff. I love it, like VHS and everything. I'm really into found footage horror. Like I think it's a great
I'm gonna have to
genre.
give VHS another try because I just couldn't.
Well, I know when they first started out, like they did the shaky cam a little too much. And,
Yeah.
like I would actually start getting a little motion sick.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I kind of had to lay off them, but I think they
Blair
figured out.
Witch and all that shit.
Yeah,
Mm.
they kind of like I like Blair Witch, but yeah, that shaky cam got to me. But I think they
Yeah, I
kinda
wasn't really
settled it.
into Blair Witch too much, but
You know what?
like new found footage, yeah.
I just rewatched Blair Witch a couple months ago, and you know what I realized? There's a reason I haven't seen that movie in 25 years.
Well, I liked the ending. I just couldn't get through the 2 hours of bitching at each other to
Yeah,
Yeah,
get
it's
to
just
it.
like
Yeah.
when how old was I? I was 10 when that movie came out. I'm 34 now, so almost 25 years. But like, I watched that when I was a kid, and it freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah.
But you rewatch it as an adult, and you're right. It's just teenagers bitching at each other incessantly.
Yeah.
And
That
then
was
they
pretty
die.
much all
And you're kind of happy.
Oh yeah, you're like, oh god, finally.
Finally, shut the fuck
The one movie, as stupid as it sounds, that did that to me, that I had to, like, the first time I watched it, it freaked me out to the point where I almost had a panic attack, was Paranormal Activity. Because, like, I grew up in houses like that. And they did it, like, I will give it to them. They did it so well, the portrayal of, like, a haunting, that it really, like, triggered something. Because you were, like, these were things you heard.
Like, the first one, I was questioning whether or not, like, it was actual found footage or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the first one was real good. The second one wasn't too bad, and then it just kind of fell apart.
Yeah, and then they
after
just kind of fell apart. Yeah.
Just more of the same. It's like, okay, overkill, buddy. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Well, I think especially like on the first one, what really worked for it was there was all the time in between things happening. So you're like, all right, is something going to happen? And it does, and you shit yourself. So
Yeah, exactly.
It had that jump scare factor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it wasn't.
but it
They weren't
also,
even jump scares. They were just shit that was happening.
they could
That
also
scared the
pull
shit
like the ominous feeling, because you knew, like, once that camera went on and it started recording, that like something was going to scare the hell out of you, like some noise or something that you couldn't explain was gonna happen.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like I said though, like the gorier the better for me. Like those paranormal movies, like certain ones, like the first Paranormal Activity, it did, like, I was just like, damn, okay, but you watch it a couple of times and it loses its magic.
Yeah.
I don't like it when movies do that, and that happens with a lot of movies. I understand that, but there are certain movies that they'll lose their magic if you watch them too many times. But if you space them out, like a once a year viewing, like I do that with a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Just
There's
so
only
it
one movie I
stays
don't really do
good.
that with.
What's that?
Well, you already know what that is.
I know what it is. I know what it is. Terrifier. Terrifier.
That movie changed my life for the second time.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Gore fest.
Yeah, that's one of them on the list. Like, okay, I'm gonna get to someday.
Oh man, it was.
You should expedite it.
Yeah.
I should.
If you like, the twisted idea of gore, it's definitely like a mind trip. It's not the best story.
No.
I mean, to me it is, but you know, the acting's not that great. It's your average B movie, but like it's supposed to be that way, and that's what people don't get about it.
But the gore is on point. Like it's
Like,
perfectly executed.
got to put your money in something, and they picked the gore. So there you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
They gambled on the right thing.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for Terrifier 2.
Nope. Now it's pushed back to Halloween, but we're waiting.
Someday.
We know you're
It'll get
listening.
Hey, Howard, Jamie Leone. I'm on the show.
Come on the show. All right.
What's that about subliminal messages?
Right.
Why
there
don't we
you go.
take one more quick break and then we'll close her up. We can talk about what you got coming up next and
All right, cool.
all that fun stuff. All right.
All right.
The signal goes out. Batman returns.
Catwoman's been spotted.
The sound of power is heard.
It's Fireful Batman.
See ya, Batman.
Batman's turbo-powered Batmobile flies into high gear.
I'm out of here.
In a flash, it's a high-powered Bat missile.
Perfect getaway.
It's Rocket Blast Batman.
Rockets screaming, lasers firing.
Happy landings, Catwoman.
Batman returns.
The Unmen are back for revenge, and they want Swamp Thing.
Weed Killer's poisoning Swamp Thing's home.
Who can save it?
Swamp Thing! Nobody poisons the swamp trap. I live here. It's feeding time for my Venus flytrap. Ah! It won't stop me.
Is this the end of Swamp Thing?
No! My mighty Bog Rover will put an end to you. Fire!
Swamp Thing, Guardian of the Earth. Swamp Trap playset, Bog Rover and figures sold separately.
Let's check it out.
Introducing the newest WWF Wrestling Buddies, Big Boss Man and Jake the Snake Roberts. Clunk 'em, bonk 'em. Wrestling Buddies want to be your buddy.
Buddy, what's going on? Nothing, officer.
Body Slam!
Hey, who's the wise guy?
Big Boss Man!
Murphy.
What's going on?
Nothing, Sarge.
Big Boss Man and Jake the Snake Roberts, the newest WWF Wrestling Buddies from Tonga, each sold separately.
All right, so we're back. What do you got coming up? What do you got coming up? What are you working on?
Well, I don't have anything coming up as far as like on a date. I am working on a new project. It was what I was working on this weekend. Not so much horror, kind of taking a little step, doing something stupid. I guess a little more on the bizarro side. So I guess I'm probably far along enough now. I'll make an announcement. It's an official world-breaking announcement of the new project. It is called Dick Wiggler and Other Useless Superpowers.
Take my fucking money, please.
Yeah, it's that's all I'm gonna say. I think the title pretty well explains what it's about.
You just sold 2 copies, my friend.
Yep.
So yeah, I wanted to take a little break from horror, and I was like, I'll try something kind of like a little more ridiculous, and the concept popped in my head. I'm like, this is fucking dumb. I'm doing it. So
Hey, listen, there's certain movies I'll watch them based on the ridiculous factor. Like usually the title is a dead giveaway, like Deathgasm.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen that movie?
no, I know of it though. Yeah.
Me and the wife were just chilling, scrolling through Netflix one day. I was like, I want to watch something fucking stupid. Just utterly ridiculous. I see a movie called Deathgasm. I'm like, that's the movie. That's what we're watching.
Yep.
And I was right.
That's how it was when I saw Attack of the Killer Donuts. I just couldn't resist.
But that title, what was it? Dick Wiggler and what?
Dick Wiggler and Other Useless Superpowers.
Yes. I can tell you right now, it's going to be my favorite book ever.
Well, I hope so. If I can get it hammered into shape anyway.
I can guarantee it. Just based on the title alone. And I'm not much of a reader. So.
Well, it's also been kind of a theme. So I got the good news on it not too long ago, but there was a contest through the Mothers of Mayhem podcast, which that's another one like for horror podcasts and stuff, like books. Definitely check that one out because it's so much fun. Marianne and Christina are a lot of fun. But they held a contest because I can't think of his name, so I guess I won't say it. But someone had posted on TikTok about how he'd recommended Swan Song, the book Swan Song. He accidentally typed in Swan Dong. And so Marion from Mothers of Mayhem got inspired. She's like, all right, impromptu writing contest. Give me a short story titled Swan Dong. So I did. Dumbest shit I ever wrote, but it won. So I'll be reading that at some point in the future on their podcast. So this is my life now.
Well, that's a pretty awesome life. I'm not gonna lie.
You could be doing way worse things.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, I do. I've got that coming up. I'm hoping to have it out this summer. Hopefully by the end of June, by my birthday. But we'll see. And then I do know that sometime this year, I think around the same time, probably, I have a book with James Carlson. We're each doing 3 stories each. In that a collection, kind of like an anthology, through Gloomhouse. And I gotta plug Gloomhouse books. They're the one that published Verum Malum, and like they're awesome. They got a bunch of good stuff coming out. I know he's got one called Hacked in 2 that's coming out. It's James and Damon Manx each have a story in that, and then he's got some other killer stuff lined up for this year. So.
Cool.
And I think that's it for right now. I got some stuff I want to get kind of hammered out, see if I can get into some anthologies, but yeah,
awesome.
just good old Dick Wiggler for sure.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be my favorite book. All right, so
take it away.
But yeah, so Michael R. Collins.wordpress.com. Gotta make sure to do that, you know. That's where you can find my books. Verum Malum. That's the most recent one. And then some scary stories. And got a few others in Shadows of the Wicked, but they're all on the website. Yep, there we go. And Facebook and you know all that. I mean, I got so much freaking social media. It's so tough not to find me.
But yeah, we got a contest going on.
Ooh.
So we're gonna
tell.
This book, which was written by our very own Craig here, off to my right. Yep. Admented. And there's the rest of the title. I'm not reading it all, it's backwards. I read it all last week if you want to hear it. And then we're giving away a copy of the Craig Lewis Guide to Surviving the Impossible by our buddy Craig Lewis, who was on the show, what was it, a month or so ago?
Yeah, about a month ago.
Yep. And he's a fantastic dude, so go back and check that episode out.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He has a lot of cool stuff out.
We're also giving away these records from our buddies in American Thrill.
Yep.
They hooked us up with some vinyl.
Nice.
They got some bad stickers there.
You got some, yeah, these stickers are badass.
No.
Some of the coolest stickers I've ever seen. But yeah, they're a really good band. And Jamie was cool as hell.
Yep.
Punk rock doctor.
Yep. And then we got Down Syndrome Awareness Day.
Down Syndrome Awareness Day. We're wearing our mismatched socks too.
Yep. In case you haven't noticed, you know, we're styling today. For our good buddy Mike and Nolan. They're awesome. Both of them.
Yeah. Probably some of my favorite people in the entire world.
Probably.
I've never met them.
Yeah. You know, funny how that works.
The beauty of the internet. You can meet some awesome people without actually meeting them.
For sure. That's how this show started. It never would have went anywhere, in all honesty. Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Just a couple guys that met on the internet. But
it's a weird thing to find on Tinder, but you know.
Well, hey, you know, something came of it. No, that's
not
cool.
exactly
you know,
what I was looking for, but
hey, well, you know.
You saw the picture.
You got a connection. You didn't say what type of connection.
Yeah.
That's on me.
But we really thank you for having on, dude. It was like
And you wanted to give a shout out to a buddy of yours real quick.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, you were talking about Down syndrome and Team Nolan. Yeah, my buddy Jason Geller, and I know I pronounce his name wrong every time. He's another horror author, and he does a lot when it comes to Down syndrome and different programs. And he's a big one to definitely spread the good word and do the good work within Down syndrome and education and all that. So I wanted to shout out, he's another horror author. So definitely pick up his stuff. Jason Geller, he just published Crimson Fields. He just published that one not too long ago. And a lot of his characters, or a lot of his stories will have characters with Down syndrome. And more often than not, like they're the main characters, they're the heroes. So it's some awesome stuff. Yeah. I definitely wanted to shout him out for that.
Yeah, and
I know he was wearing his mismatched socks too.
Right on. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my cousin Ray too. He actually has Down syndrome, but he's 22 years old, and he's just a phenomenal human being. I love that kid. But yeah. So shout out to Mike. Shout out to Jason. Everybody who's in that industry and working to teach people about this stuff. Thank you. Like seriously.
Yeah. Whoever's out there raising awareness.
Yeah.
Needs to be taught.
They're the heroes.
Yeah. But we really thank you for coming on, dude. It was a really good time.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I had a good time too. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, for sure.
Anytime at all.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I guess that's
it. This is a great time, man. So
cool.
Another episode in the books.
Woo!
Yeah.